Hello, and thank you for coming to the memorial service of Boss Babe. Yep. Before we get started, let's pause for a moment of silence as we remember this patronizing, infantilizing, and toxic term that is Boss Babe. Boss Babe, Femmepreneur, CEO, #GirlBoss. These labels that were created for women by women were meant to uplift, empower, and create a sense of community. And they did that for a time, and it still does that for, now. But for myself and many other women business owners, these labels are sexist, toxic, demeaning, and really minimize the entrepreneurial experience of women business owners everywhere. We are already second-class CEOs in the world of business. We're going to go over that later. But why do we keep putting these labels on ourselves? Just to remind us of the fact that we're second-class CEOs? As a second-generation female entrepreneur, I do not want to be reminded of the fact that women in business are seen and treated as second-class CEOs. We are already at a competitive disadvantage. In 1988, the Women's Business Ownership Act was signed, which allowed women business owners to apply for a loan without a male co-signer. Progress? But with 89% of partners at venture capital firms being men, and seeing as male investors are less familiar with women markets, it is no surprise that only 2%, or $1.9 billion out of the $85 billion invested by venture capital firms are invested in women businesses. And without access to small business loans, women and minority businesses are at a competitive disadvantage. And yet, even though we're at a competitive disadvantage, women in business still bring in 20% more revenue with 50% less capital investment. Woo is right. In addition, companies that had women on the board outperformed companies that had 0 women board members by 84% return on sales, 60% return on investment capital, and 46% return on equity. Who should be the boss now? But even with these stats behind us, women in business are still seen and treated as second-class CEOs. From bullying to sexual harassment to toxic positivity, women business owners are unequally targeted. And that's not surprising because women who deviated from traditional gender stereotypes were actually disproportionately targeted for gender harassment. Moreover, women business owners are more perceptible to bullying because we are perceived weak, powerless, and defenseless, which is really funny to me. And just being a woman is a key predictor in workplace bullying. And girl boss, toxic positivity, the boss babe culture is not helping matters. In the world of girl boss toxic positivity, standing up and speaking out against our negative experiences is actually frowned upon by other women in business in boss babe culture. And with this experience and people actually acting like this when we are harassed and bullied, it actually creates a culture of silence that includes denial of bullying behavior. And when we continue on, marching on, staying silent about our negative experiences with business, it actually stifles our career advancement due to loss in productivity and alienation that comes with harassment and bullying. So it's no surprise that 77% of those surveyed stated that they did not report harassment to senior leadership. Reported or not, businesses lose more than $250 million per year due to loss in productivity, employee recruitment and retraining, employee turnover, healthcare insurance claims, workers' comp disputes, and the list goes on. And never mind the physical and mental health outcomes associated with harassment and bullying. Harassment and bullying is associated with negative physical and mental health outcomes, including insomnia, gastrointestinal distress, headaches, high blood pressure, PTSD, anxiety, depression, and physical pain. Super glamorous for a girl boss, am I right? So what do? How do we start to make change for women business owners everywhere? Well, for starters, we should drop these labels of boss babe, fempreneur, CEO, #girlboss, and I understand and recognize the community that was created using Boss Babe and Fempreneur, the empowerment that was felt and the strength that was given, but we need to lay these labels to rest for a long dirt nap 6 feet under, so we can make room for actual change instead of this faux feminism that is Boss Babe culture. So, in lieu of flowers, please send more market access, increased capital, more women in the financial sector, non-toxic community building, zero tolerance bullying and harassment policies. Oh, there's a lot of other things, including enacting the Paycheck Fairness Act, closing the gender pay gap, and calling women business owners what we are, bosses, period. So, let us take a moment to everybody turn your attention and let's check out some amazing words of encouragement that myself and many other women in business have received during our time as women in business.